Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Tombstone Tourist. Just like last week's episode, I'm going to say once again that unless you're a fan of NASCAR Winston Cup racing, you probably have no idea who we're going to be talking about today. Last week we visited the grave of Ralph Seagraves, the man who brought the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company and its Winston brand to NASCAR and created the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. This week, I've moved a few miles across Forsyth County to the West Lawn Garden of Memory in Clemens, North Carolina. Here, I'm going to be visiting the man who took over for Ralph Seagraves when he retired in 1985. From 1985 until his untimely death in 1998, the man that we're going to be visiting today was the head of sports marketing for the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company. Here is the final resting place of T. Wayne Robertson. Thurman Wayne Robertson was born on August 27, 1949 in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He grew up in Winston-Salem and went to work for the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company in 1971. His first job with the company was an administrative assistant. In those early years, T. Wayne met Ralph Seagraves, who was fostering a relationship with NASCAR. He watched, and a little later assisted, Ralph in developing the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. T. Wayne began promoting the weekly Winston Cup Series races by taking the Winston Cup show car to special events around the area where the Winston Cup Series was racing that week. The show car and merchandise promotions were so popular that in addition to showing up at racetracks wearing the hats and shirts of their favorite driver, fans were buying and wearing Winston merchandise as well. By the early 1980s, Seagraves and Robertson had made NASCAR Winston Cup racing the most popular form of motorsports in the world. Tracks couldn't build seats fast enough to accommodate the request for tickets. In 1985, Ralph Seagraves retired and turned the RJR Sports Marketing Division over to T. Wayne, who set about expanding Winston's influence into other forms of motorsports. T. Wayne increased Winston's backing at smaller local tracks and expanded the popular Winston Racing Series. This not only increased Winston's visibility, but also provided somewhat of a pipeline for future Winston Cup drivers, crew chiefs, and car owners. As president of Sports Marketing Enterprises, a division of the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company, T. Wayne oversaw the multi-million-dollar sponsorship of NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, along with the NHRA Winston Drag Racing Series, the Vantage Championship Senior PGA tournaments, along with other high-profile sporting events. In January of 1998, with the Daytona 500 just a few weeks away, T. Wayne decided to take a vacation before the start of the racing season. An avid outdoorsman, T. Wayne left on a hunting trip to the bayous of Louisiana. During a rainstorm in the early morning of January 14, 1998, the boat that T. Wayne was riding crashed into an oil rig near the Intercoastal Waterway in Vermilion Parish. T. Wayne, along with 5 other hunters, died as a result of the crash. T. Wayne Robertson was 47 years old. In 2003, the federal government banned all forms of tobacco advertising. This forced RJR and Winston to end their successful association with NASCAR. This effectively ended the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Some people say, and frankly I'm one of them, that NASCAR's decline began with the death of T. Wayne Robertson, followed closely by the death of the sport's most popular driver, Dale Earnhardt in 2001, and the loss of the Winston sponsorship in 2003. The final blow came in 2007 with the death of the man that ruled the sport with an iron fist, Bill France. Today, NASCAR is struggling. It's long abandoned its southern roots and really has no identity. Drivers like Richard Petty, David Pearson, Cale Yarborough, and the Allisons of the famed Alabama gang are long gone. NASCAR racing enjoyed tremendous popularity during the Winston Cup years. For more than 30 years, the NASCAR Winston Cup Series was the most popular form of motorsports in the world, thanks to the vision of Ralph Seagraves and T. Wayne Robertson. This is where I'm going to end this episode of the Tombstone Tourist. I hope you've enjoyed the last couple of episodes where I visited the final resting place of the men who gave us NASCAR Winston Cup racing, Ralph Seagraves and T. Wayne Robertson. If you remember Ralph or T. Wayne or have a special memory of the Winston Cup Series, please share them with us in the comments. I really want to thank you for watching my videos. If you haven't already, I hope you'll consider subscribing. And if you're so inclined, a thumbs up is always very much appreciated. Now, until next time, please remember, life is a wonderful journey. Please be sure to take time to enjoy it. And I'll see you down the road. So long, everyone.